listening to Flam Radio.
So, I hope our listeners heard what was said by Marcus Garvey, and he was telling us the truth about certain areas, because you think that when he spoke those words all those years ago, that are we any further than where we were when he first visualized his people? And at the end of the day, we're in 2017. What have we done? What are we doing? We've done a lot. But is it out there that we can say straight off, this is what we've done? All right, we look at the pyramids, we look at different things that have taken place. We as a people need to come together and unite. And this evening it's going to be quite interesting, because we have Brother Set, correct me if I pronounce Seti, that will be phoning in and sharing with us. We have 4 brothers in the house that will be talking. 3. They're looking at me like, well, where's the other person? It's going to be an interesting evening. So please, as I say, Wednesday, chillax, relax. Listen to the reasoning and understand, because we learn in many different ways, and our understanding of knowledge, we receive it from many different things. So it's not one way to receive knowledge from to educate and enlighten and uplift ourselves. And so with that, do you have anything, Sister A, you'd like to say before I allow the men to take hold of the mic and share with us until Seti comes, phones in and shares with us? So, well, which one of my male counterparts are going to talk first?
Well, greetings to one and all there. You can hear me. This is Sion here. I'm on around the mic up. How you doing? I hope you're having a nice, relaxing evening. And on this Wednesday, which is the day of Mercury, dealing with communication, quicksilver, information. So it's interesting how everything's resonating on this day with what we're going to about to talk about. Marcus Garvey was mentioning, if you check it, about the divine within us. He was talking about when you get to know who you are, and when you get to, basically, the self-knowledge you're supposed to have is the knowledge of your soul. And he was talking about when you gain a better knowledge of nature and be able to appreciate all the beauty that's around you, and you utilize the divine intelligence that you have innate within you, just like anyone else, then we will be able to do great things. But we need to kind of trust in what they say, believe, or faith. The whole thing is to have confidence in ourselves. So Marcus Garvey was a different kind of revolutionary. Marcus Garvey was into spiritual science. And in his book, The Philosophies of Marcus Garvey, quite a first part of the first few chapters deal with the divine in man and the relationship between the God and the divine intelligence. So just opening up this discussion on this note.
Yes, I am, because I like what you had to say there, and you're right. But just to let people know that when I was in Jamaica, I spent some time in Jamaica in the 80s, and great experience for me. And it happens that I spent a little time, these elders, and they're in their 80s. They lived in America for a period of time, and they retired in Jamaica. And they explained to me that they was part of the Garvey movement in the early 40s, probably 30s, 40s, like that. Anyway, right? And they explained to me that Garvey was phenomenal, right? In fact, they explained to me that they had a big rally in, might have been in New York, that was Harlem or whatever. They had a big rally, and the police said that they want to stop the rally. And people said, listen, any old guy, if you don't speak, we're going to deal with you, with the police. You know, the police had to back off because Garvey had, people understand, Garvey had that kind of force and that kind of respect, you know. And as a youth man coming up, you know, I spent a lot of time being educated by Head Start Bookshop and Pan-Africanism, and we had to read quotes of Garveyism, right? And when you read quotes of Garveyism, you start to cry, because one thing I would say, Garvey really loved his people. People listening right now, let me be quite clear. Garvey loved his people. That's why Garvey's loved today, because of his love for his people. So when Simon is speaking and talking about Garvey took it to a certain level, I can see where it's coming from. See? So you deal with an individual who just proactive, you know, because out of his will is to organize one of the biggest organizations the world ever known, you know. It's literally millions of people in his organization, you know, and galvanizing towards being liberated. So I just want to wall back a little bit now, because I know we have jammers in the wings as well, you know. Jammers, come through, because yes.
Yeah, greetings, Slam Radio. I'd just like to endorse what has been said previously by our fellow guests, is that yes, the blueprint, or as Minty said, the black print has been laid out for us by Marcus Garvey. We know what to do now, and also through Amos Wilson, the blueprint, but really black print for Black Power. There's a textbook, of a formula of how we can be successful in the community, and as our host said, it's 2017 now, so we've got no excuse. We should be taking this further. We should be the new revolutionaries. As I said, the next revolution is the revolution of the mind. Don't get left behind.
So true. Well, the question I'm going to put out there to you is, what is it that we need to be doing that would help with the mind, to revolutionary the mind?
That's a very good question, and it's about really educating oneself, you know, physically, mentally, and spiritually. So I'm always talking about we need to connect with the higher energy force, and it's an ongoing process, because you see, the thing is that, I don't know, James would agree with me, and Siam, even Grace and Amanda, that when you're on this journey, you're gonna have certain individuals gonna try to take you off track. We know this journey as well. There's egoistic people, even yourself, you know. So you got continuously working and improving on yourself, and work with other people who think how you're thinking. And sometimes, as I put it, it's either you're part of the problem or you're part of the solution. And sometimes you individuals don't agree on everything, but it must be something you can agree with to move forward. And that's what it's about, because sometimes we get caught up in little petty things, and the major thing we should be dealing with, we're not dealing with it, because we get caught up. See?
Yeah. Very true. Another level on this is, I would like to, add as my contribution, is that the clarity about working on yourself, knowing thyself. On the ancient walls of ancient Kemet, and the Greeks then took that and put it on their their temples, was man know thyself. And we hear that, and there's more to that phrase or that command, and the rest of it is, the fullness is, man know thyself, and then you will know the universe and the creative powers of the gods. Now, that should be telling you something that when we talk about knowing who he is, it's beyond the idea of education in the society, the idea of knowledge that we believe is knowledge. You know, there was many great revolutionaries or revolutionists who were unique in their way, and they came forth with their soul power and gift in order to expand our consciousness, to introduce new thought, because the way we think and the way we've been conditioned to believe in so many ideas that are not beneficial for us, and not knowing how we operate, not knowing what that means when it says know thyself, leaves us vulnerable to a lot of these wayward programs that have been downloaded in our minds from when we were younger, and also how it's enforced through the society. You see, if you don't comprehend how you work, how you operate, what the reality of you really is, then the illusion that has been designed for us to identify with becomes what you bind yourself to. Because whatever you identify with becomes what you limit yourself in. You see? Now, our identity is spiritual, but based on our definition from religious programming and that indoctrination, a lot of us hold on to definitions that do not empower us. It's like holding something to be true without checking the validity of the hypothesis you're beginning with. What you're building your whole thought upon. If you don't check the foundation of what you're building your beliefs upon, then you're not going to really be able to understand what your true power is. I'll pass this on and share with more.
No, I just want to jump in there because in the word belief, there's a word called lie. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying to people here is that we're not trying to discredit your religion. If your religion is making more productive, more responsible to yourself, to your community, how it is working. But if it's not doing that, you need to question it.
There it is.
You see what I'm saying?
There it is.
See? Because we look at the whole thing about religion. Religion is a system.
That's right.
Right? A man have a book, and there's only one book came off. He might tell it, this is how it go. See? There's a difference between religion and spirituality.
Well, religion, and I'm just going to say a quick thing here and give my brother Jammers, an opportunity to come in here, because we're dealing with etymology, we're dealing with words, we're dealing with the fact that every word you use is electromagnetic vibration to it, you see? And, to understand the origin of words, you got to understand etymology, So when we go into religion, legere, relegere, what does that really mean, And when you go into the etymology of it, it means to tie back, to tie again, okay? Some people would then try to some people may even think that what we're doing here now is word games, but the whole thing is a word game. When you see how words have been arranged, used to manipulate what you believe, the definition, meaning of a word is far away from its original intention. You see what I mean? And because every word has a vibrational frequency, what you're dealing with when you use words is more than just, talking. You're generating and putting out certain frequencies. So religion is to bind again. Some people would say, but that's the same as yoga, because the word yoga, Sanskrit, means to yoke or to link. Now, if you're linked with something or united with something, then that shows that you are not separate from that greater whole that you're uniting with. But when you're tied back or binded again, that is totally different from being free, liberated, and empowered. It means that you're being limited, controlled, and conditioned to follow instruction of some kind of belief. And the thing with that belief, be lie, Eve, be lie, you know, we got the lie in there. But the powerful thing is that's not being understood is that when we, through religion, think of the creator, because the God is the central theme in this whole thing about religion. And your definition about God or the creator is something outside, separate from you, or that it came as the only begotten son in human form, and that if you tune into this idea of this savior external to you, then you are tuned in to God. Here's the trick. The trick is that the creative power is not outside of you or residing just in another individual and not in you. The creative power is your consciousness. Every thought generates an emotion, and every thought that's enveloped by an emotion is a creative act, whether you're conscious of it or not. Let me pass this forward on to Brother Jammers.
I think you're being too nice to them. Yeah. Basically, re means to go back, religion means to bondage. So religion means to go back into bondage. Etymology means the truth, the true meaning of the word. So if you've not got the etymological meaning of the word, then you've got a lie. So basically every word is a lie unless you look at it etymologically.
Yes.
Okay, so basically the word re means to go back, revolution means to turn back. So when you're talking about revolve, you're talking about not going forward, because forward you're going towards a ward, you're going towards a place of care, and you usually have a ward in a war zone. So they want you to go forward with technology, take knowledge away with the technology. Before you could go to Brixton, now you need a satellite nav to find Brixton, where all you have to do is drive and ask a question to someone. So you're giving your knowledge and your intelligence away to a machine by going forward. We need to go backward or backward before the letters were put into the sounds that to confuse us with the lies. I said every word is a lie. And when they tell you to know yourself, they're not telling you how to know yourself. Me, I gotta tell you how to know yourself. All right? When a dog barks at you and says ruff, 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 you don't start saying me rough, and then we say no, me rougher than you, me rough, and then breaking the front. So every sound that these people make is a reaction to who you really are. So when someone calls you black, that's just their reaction to you. You don't take on their sound and start saying me black, me black, me. Because basically what they're saying is that they be lacking. So every time they see you, they see what they be lacking. There's two sides to everything. When someone points a finger at you, they got three fingers pointing back at themselves. So basically, whatever they say to them, the opposite is the reality to you.
Brother Jammers, now you're just activating some more frequencies to step up in here now, because very true, because you see the language we use, langue, is our tongue. That's what the word means. And the definition we've been given on words is, if you hold that and you believe that, you see this belief thing again, you can make the lie become the truth. Because whatever is impressed upon your subconscious that you feel to be true now becomes a program that you're now putting into yourself, into your subconscious, which then goes forward to execute the program. But remember, it's a program. That's all it is. A program doesn't have any power of its own or any life of its own. It's the power we give it through believing to what we call feeling it to be true. You see? So this is a very intricate thing here, because even when, as Jammers was explaining about black, it does have be lack in it. Be lack. Yeah, that's what it's saying. Your subconscious is going like, hang on, it hears the truth. But if you're consciously not aware of the sounds you make and the words you use, then these stuff bypasses you. And then we program ourselves in a dispowering way rather than an empowering way. Because you're using a label to define who you are. What is black? What is black? In the 60s, when, look, that term also came about in the 60s when the identity of black folk was still up for grabs, right? And I grew up being called colored. I grew up before hearing the word black. Yeah, we have all these different type of terminologies, Negro. Yeah. Now, when you allow someone else to define you, the word definition, even though we can go phonetically into it, it's got another levels, but it means to set limits and bounds to. So you're allowing, when you subscribe to someone's definition of a word, they're telling you this is what it means and you must use this language. They are prescribing limits and bounds to you, right? Based on now you defining yourself by what someone else has set limits and bounds to. We need to get out of these definitions. Yeah, and this black, there is lack in that. A lot of us talk about what we don't have and what's been taken from us. Think about this. But there's another level to what black is.
Yes.
We'll break this down in a minute.
Let me just jump in there, because two things come to mind: the subconscious and definition. And as Les Brown said, don't let people define you. Don't people define your reality. You need to define yourself.
There you go.
Now then, the thing is this: as we talk about the mind and the subconscious, if you watch a horror movie, right, even though it's not real, you get frightened. That shows you how vulnerable your mind is. That shows you that if you take in certain information, a certain thing, your mind is vulnerable. I mean, let me show you something, right? And this will probably hit home the point. I watched one program on TV, right, where these women, they look good, in somewhere in Asia or whatever. They look good, but they're men. These are glamorous looking women, look better than a woman out the road there. That shows how powerful the mind is. You see what I'm dealing with, right? So what I'm saying is this, that your mind is a powerful. And we talk about the subconscious. You need to know where I'm going with this thing here, because remember talking about the horror movie? It's not real, but you're getting frightened. So that's why you got to protect your mind at all times. So when Siam is talking about the higher level of consciousness and protecting your mind and program your mind, you see what I'm going with this thing. What you want?
Well, what I want to say in relation to what you said is, this is how we operate. Yeah, we operate visually, we operate through vibration, and we operate through sound. That is how our nature.
Slam Radio.
Boom.
Do you have a child under 5 years old? City Mission Nursery provides private childcare for children aged 6 months to 5 years old, with over 16 years experience and a good Ofsted rating. City Mission Nursery follow the EYFS curriculum, nurturing and enhancing your child's growth for the years to come. Purpose-built baby unit with a private garden, level 3 qualified staff, registered with Preschool Learning Alliance, and much more. For more info, call 0208 960 0838 or visit citymissionnursery.com to get 25% off your nursery fees. Hurry before the offer ends soon.
Top quality cars, London's quality used car specialist. Do you want a new used car but haven't got the time or hassle of looking for one? Top quality cars specialize in HPI clear vehicles with at least 1 year's MOT. From a 15-year-old car to a 1-year-old car. We can also assist in getting finance for your purchase subject to status. Top quality cars. Try us for value. We are available at any time. Just tell us the car and spec you require and our team will come up with the best possible vehicle for your money. Call 07 511 272 227 anytime.
James UK Markinside is your multi-service store in Essex. Our customer service is second to none. That's because every customer is treated with the best service ever. Whether it's shoe repairs, key cutting, watch repairs, or a fast engraving service you require, pop into James UK. Sports trophies and glass awards, giftware, leatherware and travel goods. or shoe care, it's got to be James Shoe Care. We open 7 days a week next door to Santander at High Street, Barkingside, Essex. Call 0208 550 1440 or 07 985 118 123. Find us on Facebook and search James Shoe Care Barkingside. Mention this station and receive a 10% discount on all services. James Shoe Care, High Street, Barkingside. We're not just a load of cobblers.
Have I got news for you? Nollywood Movies Sky Channel 329 is free. Yes, I said free. Nollywood Movies is free. Watch the best in Nollywood entertainment free on Nollywood Movies Sky Channel 329 and Virgin Media 835. Enjoy the latest Nollywood blockbusters, classics, TV series and more 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All you have to do is sit back, relax and enjoy the very best of Nollywood every day. Don't just stand there. What are you waiting for? Tune in now to Channel 329 on Sky, and if you're on Virgin Media, Channel 835 for the best in Nollywood entertainment for free. Nollywood Movies, bringing Nollywood to everyone.
Links Couriers, London's reliable courier service. We specialise in couriering all types of parcels 24 hours a day. Our service is dedicated to business users only, nationwide. We have 2,500 vehicles dedicated to nationwide delivery. Average pickup times in London is 35 minutes. Nationally is 50 minutes. Links Couriers, London's 24 hours courier service. We give you a special offer for all new account holders. Check out our reasonable rates. Log on to the site www.linkscourier.com or info@linkscourier.com or call our friendly staff on 0203 581 3411 or 0845 226 8379. We accept all major credit cards. Links Couriers, the nation's 24-hour dedicated courier service.
To advertise your business or service on Slam Radio 93 FM, slamradio.co.uk. Call our sales team. It's your music station that reaches thousands of listeners. Give us a call and check out our reasonable rates. Call 07 511 272 227. That's 07 511 272 227. Slam Radio. Advertise your business with us.
Yes, I. And this is Chronix representing for slamradio.co.uk. And we say Slam Radio play good music. East and Second say, so you mean. And we say Slam Radio. Say I walk and we not get tired.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back to Slam Radio. And we had slammers flowing.
Jammers slamming it on slam, on the slam. Just come for slam it down, gonna slam it down and slammer. Boom, boom, slam. We come for slam it with the jam, right? Right, what I'm saying today, we're going to tell you etymology, which means the truth, all right? We're going to tell it to you. A lot of people say know thyself, but they don't tell you who you are. Tonight, we are going to tell you who you are. You are Medu nature, which is divine nature. You are nature. You're not a man or a man, or male means to kill people, malicious malfunction. We don't function. We don't have maladies. We don't have malaria. So we're not males, all right? We're not male. We are nature. We work by vision, vibration and sound, just like the smartest animals on the planet, the snake, the cat. Yeah, we work off vibration and sound. They know this. This is why they're attacking our memory. You hear what I said? Memory, mori means our original dark state. The ark, listen to the word, the ark. The ark carries everything. It carries things in twos. It carries balance. My hat, yeah. So we are the ark. We are the carriers of all the chemical. I call from chemit. That's why they call it that. So I'm telling you who you are, right? So you are divine wisdom, working with the elements, which is nature. Elements. Listen to the word element. El means spirit. Mentis from the Greek. Mentis means mind. So your divine nature gives you your state of mind. The Egyptians, or forget Egyptians, that's the Greek definitions of chemit. Our Asian Africans knew this, so they
with pictures. Pictures activates your vision, so you can use your vibration and sound to manifest things into reality. This is how communication process. The Egyptians knew, the Greeks knew this. So on the sound, we were the masters of sound. The skill we had was called phonetics. The Phoenicians, which were not Phoenicians, they were the Carthaginians, who had the science of applying sound to symbols, called phonetics. They're still using that in the language today. Every dictionary has got a phonetic meaning in the dictionary, the African sound. That's the only way they can apply sounds to the language, by using our African science. Okay, so we are the Phoenicians. What they knew that we work off sound, vision and vibration. So they performed a thing called strepsymbolia on the language. Strepsymbolia on the language. That means to take away the sounds out of the language and just give you the letter, to give you the line. They are lying with the line. When you've got a line to look for, you look at things linear. Linear means you look at things in one dimension. That's why when they have you in school, they call you a pupil. What is a pupil? Pupil means one eye. You look at things one way. Look at the word pupil backwards, you see lip up. So when you look at things one way, you keep your lip up, you king's quiet, you don't question. You don't ask wise, and when you ask wise, that's how you become wise.
Yes, most certainly. And going back into this thing, have you ever asked the question, why do you call yourself an adult? We call ourselves certain things because we've been told that's what you are. It's not what you've decided to say this is what you are. Have you ever asked yourself what the word adult means? Again, they just give you definitions to say it means that you're responsible, mature, and grown. When you look into the etymology of the word adult, it comes from the same word adultery and adulteration. That is corruption. That's what the word defines and breaks down to mean. So why are you an adult then? Because by the age of 18, they've done adulterated your mind, corrupted it, so you can't see through the illusions they've designed for keeping you imprisoned with the ideas you use to identify yourself with. You see, when what we have just explained about sound, light, okay, is sound and light vibrations. The hieroglyphics is sacred images. This is the languages for the soul. You have a written text, which takes you into you're dealing with the lettering and the vowels and the consonants. And then you have a hieroglyphic, which is sacred images, glyphs. These are the language symbology for the soul. The soul understands this language. So our ancestors, and what we're talking about with Kemet, is the universal knowledge that had spread out towards all continents in the world. This ideology we're living under, called racism or white supremacy, or what terms we have to give a label to something, is not how things always had been. You see? So when you're dealing with knowing who we is, when we talking about in the beginning was the word, sound. Word is the sound, the creative sound vibration. Now, in the spirit plane, you don't have sound without light. You don't have light without sound, because sound generated light. Sound creates. You see? So we then talk about this melanation, which is a Greek word, melanos, which means something dark. But the thing is that what is this darkness? When we talk about black and we chat about the lack, we're talking about really this term that has been utilized anciently as the perfect black. Asar, Lord of the perfect black. What does that really mean? We'll break it down.
What happens is they've nullified that, because they've taken the power out of our power, because the hark means to carry everything. More means you have more than everybody else. That's why they all want more, because we have everything. So they've diminished the sound of the word by saying black, which is basically something that has no energy to it. And another thing about this black is done to nullify us, because if you're buying a car, you're looking with the power of the engine, the color, the lights, you're looking at the economy. So we don't need to focus on something that we are already. We need to focus on developing our spirit, our courage, our power, our brain cells. This is their reaction to us. They react off the color of us. It causes them a problem. It causes them to be traumatized by who we are. So we don't have to focus on who we are. We just have to work and develop our skills, but don't follow the letters. What I was saying about streptosymbolia is that they've taken out the cells, they've made us deaf, dumb and blind to the lines that they write, the lies that they write with the lines, because basically in the word define, if you listen to the word define and you can hear with an open mind, with wisdom, you'll hear that D means to take away, fine means fine. So define means to take away what is fine. Design means to take away the sign. Describe means to take away the script. Yeah. So and they make you focus on your appearance. They make you focus on all of these closed design. So you end up with a closed mind.
A closed mind, dressed up. So that's very it. Dressed up with that which is not you. You know, you're dressed up. So you know, we can't just depend upon this 5 senses. You look at something and you're gonna say, well, yo, this is all you is. Dougie was just saying a bit earlier when he mentioned about there's these women or these looking like women, but they're really men. So what it is that you can't depend upon what you're seeing to define or be clear or to discern the truth just because you're seeing something. Yeah? Because the true meaning of the seeing, the sight, wasn't dependent upon your physical eyes. It was actually to deal with your inner eye. And when we talk about the eye, we're not chatting about the E-Y-E. We are chatting about the I. Yeah? The capital I. Yeah? Because the I is a pronoun before a name. The I is actually the state of the inner being. The me, which a lot of us talk of and identify with, is at the level of the personality. That is the clothed mind Brother Jammers was mentioning, because that's the part that's being conditioned. You see, we talk about me, and you have an I, and you have this myself. Yeah, there's a trinity within us, but it's the I within that level, which is the super consciousness level. Super consciousness meaning it's above and superior to the consciousness of the physical plane.
That's why they want you to see everything, because then you end up lost at sea, because we use Mahat to navigate. You need other forces to, so they give you things to see, so you're lost at what you see because you do not develop your higher level of consciousness.
And that's what it's all about, consciousness. This is what it's all about. It's consciousness we're dealing with on this trip. It's not like a boxing match. We're getting caught up in certain personality, programming, force identifications, that's scrambling the way you feel, and then what? You're at war with yourself. And what's happening within, what you see outside is an outward projection of the inner, of your consciousness. And when we don't realize that, we end up blaming the mirror for what we're seeing, when you got to change your face if you want to see something better.
I want to just jump in here because my brain cells start lighting up a little bit here. You know, this is just music to the ears, you know. You really lighting me up here. People might be listening and want to know what the heck's going on here. You know? So, definition and words, etc. But I just want to keep it on a level still, see? Mm-hmm. Because what I want to say is this, right? How can we move people, you know, on a level where they start take responsibility for themselves and start take charge of their mind? Right. See? Because, you see, that's where the challenge comes at the end of the day. And that's where it starts from, you know? Because, yes, we need to be reading, you know, certain books or listen to certain tapes and reprogram our mind and start to move. Because right about now, you know, with the reason I go on, right about people must say, well, bro, what kind of reason I go on?
You want me to come back?
Inside this place,
all right, let me come back then, yeah?
Take it down and see how we can
let me come back.
move people on a level still, see?
All right, we want more street. All right, street. All it is now, yeah, is that you have to start listening, because the master deceiver will tell you a lie. Just like your partner, the master cheater will cheat right in front of your face, yeah? The master deceiver is doing it right in front of your face. All you have to do, as I said, they've stripped the sound out of the language. So just listen to what is being said. Listen and break down the sounds inside the letters. For instance, Brother Dougie said the word read. Look at the word read and hear the sounds. Read means to go back. Add means to add something. For every time you read, you're looking back at what's been added to the thing, not the reality. Listen and wake up to the sound of his story. Stop getting dazzled by the word his story. He's telling you to his face, it's his story. It's not truth. We ain't got his story. We've got reality. Listen to the words head. Head means what he's added to your brain. Listen to the word brain. You say be reigned over. So they're adding things to your head so they can reign over you. Train so they to reign over you. Look at the word train. Inside the word train, you see the word reign. Listen to the word pen, and you understand pen is a holding device, and it's a sentence. Like you get a penalty and you get held. Things are suspended is held. That's why you end up in a sentence, because you're sentenced by the sentence. Listen to the sound. That's why you end up in a brain cell. So this is what we have to do. Just open your ears and listen. Is that enough street for you?
Will.
Wow.
That's still gonna be a lot for some folk to break down, because we're using words, slang, all type of stuff, and thinking that it's okay, and not realizing what we're actually doing to ourselves, because we program ourselves with our linguistics. Because, what do you think technology is? Rather than as much as it taking the knowledge away, what it's saying, if technology is leading the way, that means you're following it. And what is actually technology? It's a replication of the inner aspects and traits of yourself. The television is clairvoyance. Radio is telepathy. Yeah? You're dealing with electronics, selected motions, selected movement. You're dealing with the technology of your own being that has been outpitched, into the society. For example, the buildings that we have, we're standing in, living in, and so forth. The template for that, for all temples, was the human body, or the physical form, this vehicle. This vehicle is the most intricate, most miraculous, amazing design that scientists still are being baffled with. You cut your hand. The intelligence that has built this body has designed your body to heal itself. You look outside. We look outside of ourselves for we're looking for ourselves. The word you, who are you? You end up finding out that as far as you look out into the world for yourself, you'll end up coming back on a U-turn, back towards yourself in order to find the real you.
Let me jump in here, because for me say the word you, no, we are come back. You
There you go. U-turn,
U-turn, right?
A U-turn.
Because I'm just conscious of people out there know and listening right now, and they want to move forward. See? So what I'm saying that, what will be the most practical steps to move forward? Because as Jama said, we need to define and question every single word and letter. Look at the sounds. See? Right? But still, right? People are listening right now, and people want to say, wow, this is very powerful, this is very good. But I want to move to another level, because as you know that you can't feed people with certain kind of food, you have to take them step by steps.
Yeah, can I give you some feedback on the thing you could feed with food? So I'll give you some feedback with the feed with food. In the street where they know the street, so they know what we talk about food.
What about semantics? What about words I got? What about words I got? Me ask for to give people a basic ABCs to move forward.
It's a simple thing, yeah. You go in a fast food shop, yeah. You buy a plate of jerk chicken, yeah. The jerk chicken that tastes good, what you do? Dash it way. So if someone give you an idiot word like shy, what you focusing on? You're not eating the food. You're not eating the. Keep on thinking about the word shy. You're gonna end up shy. Dash away the word. If you don't have the word shy in your vocabulary, you can't think about it. You can't be shy no more. Dash away the word coward. Fire upon them word there. Just eat the jerk chicken and feel good.
Hey, Bridget, you're about fire upon me, you know.
Yeah. Very, very, very. You see?
I think we need some female energy coming inside here right now. We need to come inside here. And it's interesting what we say about, you know, the words and listening, because when we go back to our motherland, you know, when I'm learning Mandingo, but apart from that, in the other languages as such, there's no such word as shy. Certain words just aren't within the language. Yes. So, you know, we want to, you know, we're out there and we're saying, okay, what's the word for this? And it's like, well, there isn't actually such a word. You know, so despite the West thinking how primitive our motherland, our people are, or how we are, really there's certain things, because we know how great we are as a race and as a people, and that we are what we are and who we are as such. You know, there's certain that we don't give recognition to insignificant words, but yet we're supposed to be so advanced here and led by technology and by intelligence, but with that same knowledge, it's actually working against us, because people are taking on board too much of the meaning of that word and get too easily offended and distracted and lose focus on themselves because of all the other external factors that are happening and impacting on their life living in the West as such. You know, I appreciate back home, and for me back home is the Caribbean and Africa, because it's all mine. When I'm in Nigeria, I'm Nigerian. When I'm in Uganda, I'm Ugandan. When I'm in South Sudan, I'm South Sudanese. It's all mine. It's all my country, and it's for sharing, everyone. It's not just mine, but I'm prepared to share and embrace the cultures, because it's so enriched in what they have. And what I find being, each time I come back to London, I question myself as to why am I here when I am in my natural elements, when I am home in my natural surroundings. I'm taking in the rays, the sun, the sea, the energy from the earth, which is natural, which is beholden to us. But yet we come back here to concrete jungle, to the West, and we lose that energy that we have. We lose the impetus, we lose the focus in how we can develop ourselves in going forward. Because it's about, you know, the time that we're here on this earth, be it that we're all blessed to be here anyway, the time is so darn limited. And it's between the time that we are born to the time that we have our passing that we need to make some kind of difference. And if we don't ourselves, then who do we expect to do it? We can't expect others to do it for us, or for other races to lead our battle, because it's not theirs, it's ours. So it's important definitely to listen and to take on board, but equally important is to take the necessary action for things to happen. Because, you know, armed with knowledge is one thing, but as my mother said, you know, she's not with us anymore, but we can be an educated ass at the end of the day, or an educated donkey is another word for it. But knowledge is powerful, used in the right context, used in the right way. Interestingly enough, when I was in Uganda, okay, one of the wealthiest guys that I'd spoken to, right, he left school at 13 as such, and he said the key to his success was knowing how to, what was the thirst and the desire to succeed. He was hungry. I think Brother Dougie says that a lot better than I do, but he was hungry. Yeah, he was really hungry.
You got to be hungry!
Oh yes, Brother Dougie. you know, and he wanted action, and all he said, because it's amazing that it doesn't matter what school we go to, what school we don't go to, we all know how to count money as such. So his advice was, you know, you must know how to add, subtract, divide, and times and multiply. And with that, you know, he's one of the wealthiest guys in Africa today. As such, you know, and he builds that also on his success is also in not analyzing things or analyzing, excuse me. But you know, this is what needs to be done. This is the goal plan, and work towards it. Don't give up. Get to your finishing line, because it's your finishing line and it's your journey. And you see, if we don't make that added effort to get to that side of the equation, then you'll never know how green and how lush and how you can have and you can be and how you can develop and how you can grow and help those. It's not just about you, it's about how we're able to enhance and build upon our people and our community. Children are grown back home, typically within villages. The child is the responsibility of the village, as opposed to be it that it's my child.
Right. I just want to ride on what you said, Sister Amanda. Right. And it's quite interesting because the program started off with clips of Honourable Marcus Messiah Garvey, right? And you share quite a personal story of the individual you met in, was it Uganda?
In Uganda, yes.
Uganda, and he's very wealthy, and obviously had some challenges, you know, and he was hungry. You were saying, yeah.
He was so hungry.
Right. And as Simon was saying to us earlier on, and Jammers, that there's no magic to this thing yet, because what I'm trying to say is that for those, if you want to be successful, right, you have to be able to do the things today that others not be able to do, so tomorrow you have the things that others won't have. Because what I'm trying to achieve right here, that you've got to make sacrifice, you got to make commitment, right? You got to empower yourself on a daily basis. As Simon says, that every time he sees the mirror, you know, you have to continuously improve in yourself and get to the higher level of consciousness. Awareness is a constant work on oneself. There's no magic to this thing yet, just continuously working.
The magic is within ourselves, that inner magic. And you know what Sister Amanda is saying, you know, all of these things here, how we need to, you have to be coerced from within, you know, you have to be moved from within. Changes that you try to do on the outside don't last, but when the changes come from within, that's when they last.
Yeah, and it's so true, because you know, a reflection of what happens on the inside transfers to the outside, yeah, because no one else is going to know what you're doing. That's right. Unless you're doing it on the outside as such. So hence, yes, it's important to work on self and to love thyself, and you know, and to be your biggest champion. Okay, good evening. We have our guest. When I mentioned the fourth man is in the house, and his name is Seti, and he will be sharing with us. Seti, good evening. Hello. Hello.
Am I in here? Do I stay in here?
Hello.
Is it not then?
Is it not coming through? Hello, Seti. That's why we're getting it through there. Hi. I was talking to the kids. Hello. Hello.
Okay then. While Sister Grace tried to line up Seti, I'm going to take the opportunity to let people know, thank everybody for coming out Saturday. It really was a powerful event. I want to thank all the sponsors, all the those who came out, all the DJs who promoted the event, yeah, and it really was packed. You know, it was rammed from. I don't know what to say, man. At one stage we were kind of frightened, you know, but it really was.
People are still talking about it.
Yeah,
today.
people still talking about it, you know, and I really want to big up all the those who was involved, and again I want to big up the Working Action Group, Sister Juliet and the team who put on worked tirelessly hard. I want to big up people like Jammers, who's part of the technician team. You know, is as you know, the DJ and technician team. I want to big up Supreme Scene. I want to pick up my brethren David. I want to pick up everybody from the part of your academy, you know. So I know that it really was, you know, people are still talking about it. And next event will be happening is the first week in May, and it's about investing in yourself. So again, we're looking to push that now, encourage people to come out and for that event, and you know, we're selling tickets for that event here as well. And you know, we're partying.
Speaker there, Dougie?
Our keynote speakers will be Sean Frickerton. You know Sean Frickerton.
What does he do?
The whole thing about pension, trust, and wills.
Okay,
yeah,
and that's something we seriously need to be looking at.
And also we have Dua Matev, and we're talking about looking at the true potential of oneself. Also Sister Juliet from the Working Action Group, and also Sister Millicent, who will be speaking about investing in yourself and educating oneself, you know, and trying to encourage people to go back into further education, where the government will literally pay you to go back into further education. So over the weeks I will give out more information, encourage people again to come out and take advantage, and it's about investing in yourself.
Brother Dougie, are you moving to a bigger venue? I mean, you're just certainly outgrowing the venue that you're in.
Well, you know, there is talks. Talks. We see what happens. You know, there are talks that we need to go into a bigger space. Because we did that chance, especially the stalls. Them, I tried for the last 2 weeks. I don't want no more stalls. I was hoping to get, you know, about 15 stalls. I don't want no more than 15 stalls. We had about 25 down there. Even though I said to people that I don't want no more stalls in there. And again, the place was, it was scary. Put it this way, you know, it was scary because it was packed. But people had a good time. We did say to people, you do come down, we will get you in there, and etc. So, but Levi Roots was on fire, you know. But I would like to do a critique probably next week or the week after about that event, yeah, because it was firing pan all cylinders.
Okay, sorry. There has been a slight double booking, and he's now gone into a meeting, so we will have to reschedule for this coming Sunday, and I think we'll have more of his time on Sunday because he's now seeing the children at the other places which he's at. So apologies to all our listeners who were waiting for Seti to come on and share with us, but luckily for us, he should be here, or he would be phoning in on Sunday between the hours of 10 and 12.
Yeah. What I want to do is that, because people not be aware of, is it Sarah Seti, Jammers? That he had a rant with Uma Johnson. So when he does come, we can ask him about that. And we're not trying to throw stones here, but you know, we're mature individuals. You know what I mean? We need to be mature, and when something is wrong, right? And we had a conversation with our beautiful brother yesterday, and he admitted that he didn't look good, and you know, he explained to exactly what went down, etc. And you know, he said he doesn't go behind people's back and talk about people and go on a rant everything. See? But again, you know, me and James had a conversation with him. James has more than I have, and the brother's a very level-headed brother. You know, I know that so I might have more in-depth information about the brother, you know, but trust me, when you hear what he has to say, he's got a wealth of information and knowledge. And again, he's come up the whole thing with Dr. Ben and etc.
Yes, another personal conversation with Seti, and once again, to come out and see for yourself, Seti, then you'll see the real Seti. He's excellent and a powerful brother, and there's a science behind the mind, so don't just take on what you see at face value. He's got a powerful message, so make sure you're there. And I just tell you that once again, it's going to be at this Saturday, April the 1st, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m, and also on Sunday, it's April the 2nd, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m, and it's all taking place at the Caribbean Cultural Centre, 9 Clarendon Road. Okay, and that's the 2-day event. The people versus present the true restoration of Kemet, and make sure you're there. Make sure it starts at 11, so make sure you get there about 8 o'clock, or even go sleep outside the night before. It's going to be a massive event, and once again, you can hear him before the second event. He's going to be here, so it's going to be great. Don't be late. The 2-day event right here, the people versus presents the true restoration of Kemet, the West Indian Cultural Centre at 9 Clarendon Road, Hornsey, London, N8. ODJ with the great master in the house, Seti, alongside Pharaoh live stream, and it's £30 at the door. Make sure you don't be late, and also you can get your tickets from Eventbrite, and that's Young Pharaoh, Eventbrite.com. Once again, the great event, all roads this Sunday leads to Western Caribbean Cultural Centre, 9 Clarendon Road, Hornsey, London, N5. ODJ, great Seti in London town. First day is Saturday, the 1st of April. Don't be a fool on April Fool's Day. Come there at 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. And the second one will be on April the 2nd from 4 p.m. till 9 p.m. I won't tell you again. If you miss it, you must be round the bend.
What can follow? Tell me.
Yeah, so again, the great Seti will coming in town as Jams Express. So yes, just powerful, powerful presentation.
And I know, son, you've got some background knowledge about the whole situation and the conscious movement. So can you give us your take on everything?
On the Seti and Dr. Umar thing, is that? Yeah?
I wouldn't even want to go. You? Okay, go.
Well, I didn't really get caught up in it. I mean, a lot of that stuff I've just seen, growing up, seeing this stuff, it's like 90s, still stuff going on like how it was in the 90s, where you're having all this kind of competitive way of dealing with this knowledge to getting out to the people. And, I really don't involve myself in a lot of that, because a lot of that stuff's going to happen, okay, when you're dealing on the personality level of things. But then what we see or what we hear when you're not at a particular place or the event, differently to if you were there, or just like Brother Jammers was saying, when you meet an individual who was part of some kind of conflict on some sort, you have to realize that you can't just formulate your what we want to say opinion or conclusion on just a lot of hearsay and what you see here on YouTube and stuff like that. There's more to everything that meets the eye. My focus was looking into what was the beef. When I saw what actually happened, I just thought, I tuned out of that. But then when I heard Seti was talking about basically expanding a higher level, because the way we kind of approaching this so-called black consciousness, and which I'm not really into this black consciousness, because consciousness is what you're dealing with. Universal, infinite consciousness. Yeah, that is the truth within you. That is what your consciousness, your personal consciousness, is one with. Yeah, the universal consciousness, infinite consciousness. So I tune in more to if somebody's talking about the higher truth, rather than having personality level arguments and debates. Then I'll tune into that. If it's personality level, me identifications rather than the I, then I am not really gonna put much energy to it, because that's gonna have to be what individuals deal with. Because right now at this time, there is so much energies and forces. There's an intensity of cosmic waves moving in to this planet. You know, a whole lot more intensity of gamma rays. And gamma rays, what's that? What? I'm not talking about the Hulk, but, you know, that is kind of part of what we're really dealing with when you're dealing with gamma rays, yeah? Because you're dealing with the higher activity of consciousness where, you know, telekinesis and all of this type of powers that we have in us start to make itself present, you see? And we have all of these different levels, different brainwave activities within ourselves, you know, beta, alpha, theta, delta, gamma. And when you tune in to the theta brain waves and the gamma, I mean, look, man, all these superhero comic stuff, I mean, I grew up with more of the Marvel, DC type of stuff. I never grew up with the type of things, computer stuff that a lot of people, you know, the generation now maybe be tuning into. So the older stuff that I was tuned into, you know, it was dealing with more of the inner greater potential we have within ourselves, you see, to come forth. So there's a science to who he is. And those who are talking about that higher science, then I'm there to listen to you. But if we're going to get caught up on this personality, me stuff, want to make a name for myself, and then now that what one is identifying with becomes some kind of a threat in another one's mind, and then, you know, these insecurities start to make people kick off and let off and start to fire up burn up each other, and it's just counterproductive. You see what I mean? Yeah. So you have to keep what we say, the I talk about, the almighty I within, you know, on the prize, because your true self is one with the absolute ultimate source of the source giver of all life. That is your roots. That is all of our roots, you see. So it's about tuning in to that level of super consciousness that we have within us.
So I just want to jump in this, son, because you know as well as I do that in America, know that you have people like Polite, you have people like Seti, Uma Johnson, and, you know, and it's a level of consciousness growing, right? But at the same time, there's a level of ego, and immaturity, right? Yeah. So the question I want to ask, right? Because I know you've spent some time in America, and you've been among that in that area there, right?
Yeah.
Right, and, you know, I mean, what can you say about that? How can we manage some kind of ego and this and that? Yeah, because it's challenging. Well,
for myself, you know, this was like in Brooklyn, Putman Avenue, that street. When I was growing up, things were kind of different. Certain places ain't there no more. You know, like this old bowling alley in Flatbush that we used to hang out in, me and my cousins. The thing is that you see the environment of America to the environment over here. People have to understand, also take heed to understand that when you're taking on certain ideologies, okay, and then you try to adapt that to where you are, that doesn't have the same type of environmental dynamic, then what you're going to do, you're distorting. Yeah, you're going to bring in something and take it out of context with what you need to understand for yourself in the geographical location that you reside. And I see a lot of that based on the influence, you know, a lot over here gets influenced through the movies and what's not. I remember with Tupac when he had his first movie debut out, Juice. It was really big over there, but when I was in States watching that, I mean, at the time, me and my cousin went to watch that. It was there was hardly anybody in the movie house, you know. It was, you know, could have been just because of the time we chose to go. But the thing is things get very hyped, okay? Things get hyped when they start to be exported, yeah? And this thing with the ego, I feel needs to be very clarified, because you see, we use a lot of Western terms, Western foundations for our thinking, and this stuff kind of puts things out of context to what it truly is about. So people start getting on about ego, the ego, you know, it's the ego you need to kill. You have to kill the ego. And it's like, but what is the ego? What is it? When you look into the word, the Greek word of ego with a capital E and capital O is I. The capital I. That's what ego means. I. Yeah? Now, the thing is that 4,600 years before the Greeks were talking about ego, Kemetians were chatting about the divine ego. Yeah? So we hear the word ego, and from the Western background of how we've been conditioned to identify with something, associate its meaning, we turn around and think it's a negative thing. But the thing is that what becomes negative is the counterfeit ego. I use the term counterfeit because the counterfeit is always the copy of the original, right? So you have the authentic. Now, the authentic does not depend upon the counterfeit in order to exist, but the counterfeit depends upon the authentic in order to ply its way through as the real thing. Yeah? So what we need to comprehend is that when we hear about the ego in the West, yeah, it's pertaining to the personality, the me. We talk about ourselves in a threefold sense: me, myself, and I. Yeah? Now, these are different levels of our consciousness and our being to be aware of. It superimposes through the law of correspondence over the three great planes that exist: spiritual plane, mental plane, physical plane. We've been conditioned to believe that the spiritual plane is separate, far away, you know. The mental plane is what is that, and what we physical. See, we're in a physical body. When we chat about spirituality, a lot of folks think that there's something separate from you. You enter in after you leave this physical body or something. When actually the spiritual, mental, and physical plane all exist and reside in the same space and time. But they are vibrating at different rates of consciousness. It's your awareness. Yeah, it's all about your self-aware consciousness. Even this thing, self-awareness, from the Western perspective, they've turned that into a negative thing. Like, you're too self-conscious, you're too self-aware, you know. And the thing is, without self-awareness, you would have no knowledge of who you are. You see? But it's what you do with the self-awareness. You have to raise your self-awareness up in degrees. This is the reason why they even assess you in their institutions, the colleges, universities, by degrees. Yeah, they tell you about your degrees as you gradually graduate through your so-called course, like you're a race horse or something, to then be qualified. Yeah, to be then certified. You see all of this stuff? Yeah, you know, because of the degree you've reached. Yeah, when all of this is about you raising your self-aware consciousness, for you to become consciously aware of your true ego, your real ego. Yeah, ego means I. Okay, it's the word for I. Anyone who looks up and checks out I, just I. Yeah, well, it's the 9th letter of the alphabet, which means completion, and it's also a pronoun, which means that it's before a name. Yeah, it's before the name. It is that which is not defined by the earthly plane of existence that the personality, me, yeah, identifies with. You see? So the ego becomes a problem when we are identifying with the clothes rather than the entity that animates the clothes. Yeah? So the ego, we gotta come in. I'm gonna allow Brother Jammers to come in and expound a little bit more on this. But to clarify this thing about the ego, because you get a lot of people chatting about, oh, it's this person's ego, oh, it's their ego, and when you're hearing people chat about someone else's ego, they don't even realize that it's their own ego projecting onto the other person's ego that they're blimmin' upset about. You see what I mean? Because it's about controlling people's behavior. This whole society and whole system is about controlling other people to cater to the counterfeit, identity so much of us have become so accustomed to. Now, the thing is, you can tell the difference between the counterfeit identity to the authentic I within, because the counterfeit identity is always based around insecurities. It needs external validation in order for it to feel it exists. It depends upon energy outside of itself. It's also what is considered as the false self. Yeah? And a lot of us are identifying with this false self. We're identifying with this false self. Yeah? If you drive a car, you know that the car is your vehicle. It's not you. If you're sitting in the house, as much as plush and everything is, you're still aware that this ain't you. It's a dwelling place. Yeah, the clothes you wear. You still know, well, it's my clothes I'm wearing. It's not you. Yeah, you don't disappear as soon as you take the clothes off. That's what it's like when you identify with a counterfeit ego, rather than the authentic I.
So
within.
this is where I have to come in now, because I know it's coming close to the end of.
Just inject.
No, it's okay. No, he can. It's coming close, so I'm just saying that whatever you're going to say right now, you need to wrap it up, because Jammers, are you going to say?
Well, in wrapping that up, what I just said, I mean, in a way, it's like bringing everything to a nutshell.
I say wrap it up, so that it can be unraveled or revealed.
Yeah.
Another time.
Most certainly. I mean, look, everything we have said today, make this word the prime directive in your awareness for you to begin to gradually grow and expand your own self with this knowledge. Consciousness. Consciousness is what it's all about. Consciousness is the substance of all matter. Consciousness is life. Consciousness is energy. Consciousness, awareness, living intelligence. Consciousness is creative power. You understand? The nature of consciousness is the nature of ourselves. So we need to know who we is beyond the garment we wear. We need to know that we are the life itself and the intelligence and nature of that life. In other words, you can say divine life consciousness is what we're here to know, be, and express. That's what we are here. That's what we truly is. But when you're identifying with the illusion, this counterfeit ego that draws its identity from the five senses alone, and the programs we've been given by others in society, these limited definitions that become these entrapments. In ancient Kemet, they used to call it the fetters of the soul. We have to free ourselves from the fetters of the soul, that which binds the soul down, because the soul is who you is. I am the soul. The body is my vehicle. But if we forcefully identify with the physical body, the personality, don't you see this society worships personalities? Yeah, this is what it does. It makes you just a personality when you're an infinite being of eternal life and light. Brother Jammers.
Just want to translate for that for the street man. Just dash away all of them words, just dash them away. If a man thief your car, you're feeling it when you find a man, you're gonna do him, and you will do him. So dash away all the word that them give you, all these Babylon, you're gonna make the Babylon, and you're babbling on, and you don't know what you're babbling on about. So dash away the words, just put your feeling into action and visualize it, and you can manifest a reality. Alright? Feeling is the key. Be wise like the snake. Don't make the mistake.
They're very much so. Because how you feel about yourself is what others will feel about you. You see, it is an energetic thing. And there is a level that we need to take time to absorb this knowledge, this information. Yes, there are a lot of words we need to stop using, or a lot of words we need to replace. But understand that how you feel about yourself is what you then start to shape the energy around you to reflect back. So don't buy into no false identity syndromes.
Okay, so I would like each and one of you to say good night and thank you for coming and for sharing, you know, your words of wisdom. And as I said, there will be a part 2 to this whole.
Well, first I want to give thanks to this powerful radio station. Give thanks to the management. And anytime you want someone to come and talk, just give me a telephone call. I'll be on the next train straight here to the studio here. Give thanks and praise to the Most High. Our powers.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the beautiful queens for allowing us to come in the vicinity to share what we have with the community of Slam Radio, and also the ancestors for letting us have this wisdom to pass on to the rest of our community. More love, Slam! Big up! You can't jam unless it's jammers in the house.
You're listening to Slam Radio.
I love it. You love it. We love it. The Collective are proud to present We Love Rare Groove. We love Rare Groove. We love Rare Groove. The Mother's Day special, Sunday, 26th of March, 2017, at the Meccan Bar, 13 Bromley Road, Catford, London, SE6 2TS, from 9 p.m. till 2 a.m. Our DJs will be spinning top quality soul rare grooves with a slice of revival to add some seasoning to this high quality event. Leslie D, Tony T, DJ Legs, After Dark UK, and Tony P. Hosted by Juxie and Brandy Lee. Free buffet for early arrivals. Birthdays welcome. No entry after 12 a.m. Call BCP on 07 956 894 641 for more info. Sponsored by 908 Productions.
Rejuvenate Jamaica's Hospitals presents on Saturday the 1st of April 2017 Caribbean Cuisine Showcase and Dance at the classic 28 Upper Tooting Road, SW17 7PG. Remember, Rejuvenate Jamaica's Hospital charities are on a mission to help and improve Jamaica's hospitals, facilities and equipment. So join us as we have live on stage an array of UK artists and DJs. Gappy Ranks, Janet Lee Davis, Paul Dawkins, Lorna Ting, Michael Gordon.